tactics, all the moves, they're not hard to find. Strong arm tactics so loud, only themselves in mind. Every player has dreams of making Orca fame. They'll live on in the minds of those who get in their way. Orcas all say, don't come for me. Mid-third boots, they're so vain. As we set up the podcast webcam, the pod is here to talk Orca game. Orca King CK with delusions of fame. In this LRG world, he's the apex predator. Danny and Jules in tow, always ready to go. Now it's time for the show. They're the apex predators.
Hello and welcome to the Orca Pod, the apex predators of Australian Survivor LRG podcasting. We are here covering the 7th episode of Sydney Survivor, Extroverts versus Introverts. It's going to be a fantastic show. I think there's going to be a lot of debate about the decision production made, I believe, on the fly to change the tribes with this swap. I think there were good outcomes and bad outcomes from this, and hypothetically what may have occurred. What I'm most excited for is we've got two incredible guests. We obviously have this very eventful moment that happens at the end of the episode with the battleback and the medivac. But and we'll talk about all of that and the passion that Nat obviously had to keep fighting until she just could not physically fight anymore, which is a resilience and a perseverance that is incredible to see. And on top of that, we will have the perseverance and resilience of Marissa and her coming on the show to talk about her survivor journey, which is honestly one of the most incredible, obviously saddening, but also inspirational stories of her and her survivor journey. So I can't wait to get into these interviews and talk to these incredible women about their specific survivor journeys. Now, joining me this week, look, I couldn't not have her join me this week because of a few reasons. But, you know, we felt that maybe the show could do with a little bit of the hosting vibe that I did in Uncharted Waters. In Uncharted Waters, I knew all the results and I just sort of led the Orcas through what maybe they're thinking was the chance. And that was a good vibe. And we think that might be a great vibe. And I'm also bringing back for another reason, which we'll go through in a minute. But let's welcome the hostess with the mostest, the legend. Is she a legend of Sydney Survivor? She's nodding. She wasn't the Orca of Sydney Survivor. Let's go. She's a legend of Sydney Survivor. Let's find the drum roll. I apologize for this. Here we go. Welcome, Danny.
Hello, hello. Wild horses gonna drag me. Hello. I just like to hear myself talk too. You can't keep me away.
I know, and you know you're enjoying potting Canberra with me, but Sydney is where your heart is, and you know obviously you'll be part of this season. So it'd be great to get you on to take us through the twists and turns, and perhaps you could give us your insight as a production decision on some of the events that occurred in this episode. Joining us also this week, back from her incredible trip around the world that left her, you know, she was fired up, she was awake, she was aware, but I don't think anyone can fly for 40 hours through 5 different airports and be the most chipper person in the world. So I think she's coming in with a more chipper vibe. She's got a broader.
She's chipper as shit. She's here with me.
Bright horizon.
Hi, baby.
Oh my god, guys! Oh my god! This is going to be amazing. Oh, I'm just so excited.
Am I glitching or are you glitching?
No one's glitching for me. We're all here. We're having a vibe. This is a vibe. We're here. We'll get into it. We'll debate the things.
Am I good?
You are glitching.
You are glitching. Yes.
CK's glitching. but that's okay.
Yeah, it's always me. Give me a second. Yes, it's me.
While
You talk and I'll return. Give me 1 second.
While CK gets into that, like I said, we do have 2 very exciting interviews today. We're going to do one up the top to start with, and then we're going to have one at the end. So really excited to get into that, to talk to those people. As CK said, very both inspiring, powerful, impressive women in their own rights with very different stories to tell. Should we just get into it off the bat before we talk about the episode? Get into it.
Yeah, I think we should. I think that's a perfect way to start. I think there's been too many guys. Maybe we just needed more of the feminine energy.
Yeah, 100%. I think that always works for us. Shall we bring in our first?
No, you're jumping ahead, Danny. If you're going to host this thing, you've got it.
Well, I asked the question. That's what I'm saying. Would you like to do that from the top?
Yes, of course. But we've got to run this first. It's blowhole 1.
My apologies. I'm not used to the blowhole as of yet.
So, yes, I think you were just saying while I was on internet issues. And I was saying before, when I was first told that there was a person on this season who had a terminal illness and, came on, and this was their, I guess, potentially a bucket list item. They're going through treatment to go out onto a season like this. I'm not sure, and we'll find out what condition they're in, but the resilience, the perseverance, the positivity that I've seen from Marissa on this season, it blows me away. I have no words for it. I think it's unbelievable.
No, completely agree. And she was a hard and fast casting yes. I remember when I was putting together her Meet the Cast video, I had so much footage. Hers was the hardest to cut down because it was all cracker, all brilliant footage. She had so much fun with it. And you couldn't say no to her. We just had to have her. And we're so very lucky that she's now and will always be a part of the Sydney community.
What's the thing? I don't think you cast her because of her story. You cast her because she's just an amazing.
No, because of who she is as a person. Nothing to do with her story. Because she was perfectly matched for the extroverts, and we could not have her on the cast.
Let's bring her in without further ado. She's waiting backstage. Welcome.
Hey.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Thank you so much for joining us.
I can hear you great.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, got you.
Amazing.
Can I ask you, I said last week that the way you went out, being idled out,
yes.
Everyone wants to make the jury, you probably had, everyone has their own expectations of what's the bar for their experience. But, being in a great position you were the entire game and only getting taken out by an idle found minutes perhaps for tribal, was that a comfortable way to go out, or was that still really upsetting and annoying?
I think I've gotten over it, but at the time, I was pretty dirty. I think I called her a mole.
That was polite. I would have used a nastier word.
I thought, you mole or something like that. And did have a discussion with Beck, after all the shooting and everything was done, said something more nastier to her, but she's like, oh, who knows? Anyway, it's just how the cookie crumbles, guys.
It completely
that was one of those moments that they happen in the real life Survivor. That last second at the 11th hour, the one move you think can't possibly happen happened. Yeah. It was as dramatic a move as I've seen in an LRG, to be honest, and go out that way. As
I was Devo, because I honestly did think that these battleback people were just going to come back, and that would have been better TV, if you want to call it that. But they sort of just walked in, not just go to a jury and have 3 people there. That was kind of boring. So I was like, oh, surely that's going to happen in the back of my head. And that's what you would do. And they just rock up and, surely they're not going to have one of us voted out and just have 2 people left on a tribe. That's just stupid. But no, they did that. and I got voted out.
Well, it wasn't meant to be that way, right? There was 4 of you technically left in that tribe, and we had
Yeah,
Mac
that's
the
just not.
King disappear on you.
Oh god, I had nightmares about it for a while. Just going, why me? God damn it!
I don't think she would have made a different decision, but do you wish that Beck had perhaps, told yourself and Shane that she had this idol and therefore could have, perhaps negotiated with both of you to see who she would eliminate accordingly? She obviously felt closer with Shane at the time, but you might have been able to convince her to go with you.
Yeah, look, I kind of thought like Beck and Morgan were already voting for me coming through anyway. Like I was the name that was getting thrown out, and it was a bit dirty on that coming through because I was saying them like girls, I saved you girls. I was the one who negotiated that you guys weren't going. Like, so I've got your back. It's cool. And I kept saying to them, I told you so. They just didn't believe me. And even though like Beck was from the Shire and I was from the Shire, we tried to, like back in the day, I was connecting through her that way. So I thought she had me, but she's just playing a good game and she didn't have me. She always wanted to get rid of me. So it was just too much of a threat, guys. What are you talking about?
You were a threat. I think you're an incredible.
100%.
As a
nerd is so threatening.
If I actually got to play my game, holy shit.
Yeah.
There were a lot of unfortunate turns in the road that did not go well for you. And one of those, a slightly different tribe layout in the tribe swap.
Yeah.
It would have been such a different game. And it's so frustrating when those things are out of your hands. And Beck is playing a ruthless game.
Yes. Cool.
This episode particularly, I just went, wow.
Yeah.
Like
well, she got lucky, like she found the idol. She got back to camp and first and found the idol. So whether she got lucky or she was in the right place at the right time or however it worked, I mean, it was just a bit of a fluke how she kept coming up with stuff or what's, however it worked. I sort of had this dodgy looking idol sort of thing that I put together and was going to pull it out, but I'm like there's no point because it's not an idol. I'm just going to look like a dickhead. So I didn't play that, but I honestly didn't think that she had anything. I actually thought she was going to play Shot in the Dark. At one point, I sort of said, you're going to play Shot in the Dark. And if I'm being fair, like Shane and I were never going to budge. We were like ride to die. So, I just assumed she was going to go home and Shane and I were walking in for the next, drop your buffs sort of thing.
I said it seemed earlier on in the season you were closer with Mac, but I felt that over time you became closer with Shane. You just said that you and Shane were ride or die.
Yeah.
Is it the case that you were, over the time of the swap, you and Shane became very, very close and full ride or die?
Oh, absolutely. We became close after the first tribal where we won because we kind of all sat down on the mat and we did a lot of chatting about like my story came out and him and I connected on that really closely. Mac and I were close at the start because I was the person who blocked the fact that he'd found that idol clue.
Yeah.
So being close with them at the start was good. I was really just using him as like shelter to go behind, he was the big guy there and I could just back up behind him. I never really wanted to ride and die with Mac because Mac's too flashy. But like he was good to stand behind and he was playing a good game, but my ride and die as the game went on, you're right, CK was definitely my big boy.
You and Shane just seem like people that would probably, similar ages and would be friends in real life. I'm not saying you'll be friends with Mac, but yeah, just the sort of people that would be having a beer together anyway if they met each other like anywhere else.
Correct.
Not just games. Yeah. I think that
That's
matters
right.
in survival.
I mean, it was just an extra thing that we clicked on. He also, and when you have stories like that and you're sitting on the mat and everyone's crying and they're hugging you and stuff, you can't you can't turn that back. It's like my husband says, how do you become friends with these people so quickly? I'm like, mate, you've got no idea how quickly you trust people with everything. It's just how it works. And no one that, unless you play this game, will ever understand that.
100%. 100%. Like until you do it, and I think I remember saying this to Beck after the game, you can't explain it until you do it.
Yeah, that's right.
And it will never make sense to those who don't do it. But for us who've been in there, like the bond is like this, instant.
Yeah, that's it. And you're just like, okay, now I've got this best mate that like knows everything about me in 10 minutes. And that's secret talking too, because half the time you're not even meant to be talking because you're not recording. I'm talking, Marissa. And I'm like, I'm not talking. And in the background, I'm going, shh, and like winking at people and all sorts of things. Whatever you can do.
100%.
Did you come on thinking that you would? We talked about this at the start of when we did the cast assessment and whether you would tell people about your story. Did you come on thinking you would do that, or did that just come out organically and you felt it was right to do in the moment?
There was a couple of things that like I decided to do strategically. Like I decided to call myself Rissa, even though that's what I get called. But instead of saying Marissa, I wanted to say Rissa because I thought that would like strike up a conversation and people go, oh, Rissa, what nationality is that? And, you know, trying to find a way to have other ways to talk about things, because I didn't want my story just to be about being a person going through cancer or, you know, I thought everyone would look at me and go, oh, she's got no breasts, but that's on me. That's not on everyone else, sort of deal. So I did want it to be a big part of telling people about cancer, because my cancer journey it's huge. Like, and awareness for me is a massive part of what I do through my socials and everything. Like, still today I posted, it's the first of the month, and today's the day where you feel everything and make sure you get everything checked. And I put that all over socials. I share it on all my platforms. It's just what I do to continue to make sure people are aware that, like, if you're not looking after yourself and being self-aware and being, you know, like, I suppose booking things and checking things out, that you could possibly be in the same situation I am as well.
Of course. And it's a powerful message to spread. And the fact that you do this and will continue to do this is inspirational for all of us.
Yeah, thanks, Danny. And to answer your question, no, I wasn't sure if I wanted to go in and talk about it to help it leverage my game. It was more like it came out organically after I didn't get voted out the first time. And I said, well, thanks for that, guys. And the reason it means so much to me is because, you know, I wanted to make sure that I was at least on this for the first vote. I didn't want to be the person who had cancer that got voted out. And that's kind of how my story came out. And then I got asked questions, and then that's how it sort of went on.
What I felt was really great about that whole moment is it was the right time. As you said, you'd won a challenge. I don't think people were therefore thinking about a vote so much. And obviously you saw a lot of initial reaction of like, oh, well, I'm not going to be voting out the woman with cancer. But I think then after that, people, it might have been in the back of people's minds, but after that, I think what was in the front of their minds was the game, and they weren't necessarily thinking about you as that. They were just thinking about you as a player, and whether that was a player that was threatening, whether that was a player they felt safe and comfortable to be aligned with, just the general aspects of Survivor, which I presume is wholly what you wanted to experience, not
that's right,
worrying about something that sits outside the game.
And if I needed to use it, I had it there as like, you know, play the cancer card. Yeah. So I had that option as well. So, you know, at the end of the day, I could use it both ways, couldn't I?
Yeah, yeah. I think like Max got a comment here that if you want to throw up that, you know, if you make the merge, you're going pretty deep. Social threat that's very disarming. You don't see it coming till late. Everyone loved you. You're probably not looking as a significant physical threat at the merge compared to some other people. And there'll be a point where I reckon you're going, if I had to predict it, you end up, it's like 7, 6, you're still there. And then people were like, are we going to let her go through to the end? Because she's just going to win. She's playing a great game. Everyone loves her. Add in the story. It's like Jeremy didn't win because Val was having a baby, but people liked that bit of it too, right? You would win on your own merit. It's just that extra bit. And
That's right.
I just wonder if people would lay down for it or not, but I think it could have gone either way. I think it would have been very, very threatening in emerge.
I mean, it could have, and I could have used that. And I did feel that I was no physical threat, and I put that right in at the start. Like I don't have any threat on me whatsoever. Like I tried to even downplay the game I was playing. I was saying stuff like, I don't care, as long as it's not me, I don't care. Like, so I was sort of throwing out, I didn't know how to play. I wasn't a physical threat. I was just this chick that was coming along, and, she had cancer, so just let her ride along with you. And that was kind of the game I wanted to play. I mean, in the background, I was obviously trying to be everyone's bestie, and I was like, oh, so sorry, mate. Like, as you probably saw, I was like, as people were leaving, I was still hugging them and stuff like that, just still trying to play like a jury game just in case they came back. Yeah. I'm like, I got you, man. I voted you out, but I'm still your mate. It was just kind of the game I was trying to play in the background.
That's like key to who you are as well. Like you're a social beast. Like I met you and was instantly disarmed, and I'm watching you play. Like it's a credit to you as a person as to how quickly people have bonded with you, story or not. Like I said, that was always your key game coming in, was that you are the socialite. You can chat anybody's ear off about anything, talk with bubbles in your mouth underwater.
Yeah, 100%.
That was you to anybody about anything, and that was always going to be your biggest threat coming in, was how sociable and how loved you would be.
And I mean, you positioned yourself well. You had some fantastic shields, and had you made it through that vote, had Isabel not done the mutiny, had Mac not gone, you'd had the numbers. I still have a feeling that Mac being there, maybe Beck doesn't find the idol. Beck goes, you survive that vote. Maybe we have the tribe swap anyway. They're going to go Mac, Shane, Belle, over you. Maddie, over you. You had shields that were going to be taken out before you.
100%. And that was where I was positioning myself. Plus, on a social game, everyone just liked me. They wanted to talk to me. They wanted to be my friend. Like, I didn't spend time talking about myself. I spent time listening to others and asking questions about them, because that's what you do. So yeah, 100%. Like, which disappointed me that I got sort of idled out, because I was like, mate, I had a brewing game kicking here, and whether I got some shitty, dodgy tribal swaps, there was half the people on the show that I didn't even play with, because I was always that person on the other side. You know what I mean? Like, I never talked to Tilly. Don't get me wrong. Once I was voted out, I watched the game from the background, and I was watching Tilly and Chris and all these other people's play their games. As someone like Tim, I was watching his game, and he just kind of cruised along, and I was like, man, how did he get into like being, part of the jury?
Just pause for a second. You're just verging too much into stuff we haven't seen. I don't think you said anything bad, but it's a dangerous pathway, and I just want to pause us on that pathway.
Nothing spoiled, but we're right on the edge.
I feel you though. I totally do, Rissa, because I'm a gamer, and when you watch people, when you have a game plan and you've positioned yourself well, and something out of your control takes you out, and then you watch other people who didn't have the foresight, didn't have the plan, and I mean, that's a strategy as well, but it's frustrating to watch.
It is, yeah. And I suppose, like, I was that person that really, like, I was like, come all the way from Queensland. I was like, I'm going to play this game. And you get really into it. Once I was out, my mentality on it was totally different, of course, because you're watching it from a different angle. And then after these years that have gone by, I was like, is it even going to come out that we're going to watch it on TV? Which I'm stoked about. I watched the first 6 episodes. I did live parties and everything with family and stuff. And next episode, once I was voted out, all my friends are like, we're not watching it anymore.
Not watching it anymore.
I know that Eli and the production team have been really working hard to make sure it you came out and you had that opportunity to have
Yeah.
those parties. When Eli told me that he was going to start releasing this like at the same time as Canberra 4, which means I have to do 2 podcasts a week. And as much as I like talking,
Whoops, sorry.
it is Australian. I said, dude, can't you just
Never
wait for
apologize.
I said, do you just wait for Canberra? She's like, no, there's an unfortunate circumstance. We've got a member of the cast who's in this situation, and we want to make sure we get it out so that she can enjoy. And I'm like, what? Of course, like just whatever. I'll just do 2 podcasts. Like, there's no question.
Yeah, it's so cool. Appreciate that.
It's so good that everyone at Sydney's been able to get. I know because there was a long wait that often happens with these LRGs between seasons and airing, but for it to get out and for your whole journey to be shown for you, be able to share it with your family is that's amazing. Like that's the experience you obviously were hoping to have.
Absolutely, and that's why initially when I got casted for season 2 Sydney and also season 2 Queensland or Brisbane, that's why I picked Sydney, because of it coming out earlier and all the rest of it, because my timeline, it doesn't get any longer, unfortunately, it gets shorter. So and that's why I had to make these decisions moving forward. So when I said to Eli, listen, mate, I'm not in a good way. We need to get this happening. Like, is it going to happen or is it just not going to happen? So it's been good to be able to watch it. And we just got the party in the lounge room, the palliative care. We just put the big screen TV on, and whoever wanted to jump in and watch it could. So it's been really good.
Amazing. And I'm so glad that we got to do this, because you deserve your time. You deserve your limelights. We had to have you. So I'm so glad that you could make the time for us.
Yay.
Look, I think we could talk to you forever because your story is amazing. But look, I just have to say again, it's inspirational. You're inspirational. Your positivity is the thing that affected me the most watching you on this. Facing down, the barrel and with a smile on your face and enjoying the life that you have left to live in the most positive and affirming manner was really special for me to watch on the show, and I'm sure has been really inspirational for many people.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I do my bit. That's me.
I don't think you like big compliments, but you deserve them. That's for sure.
Thank you.
And what we will do either tonight or tomorrow, we will share all your fundraising on our socials, on the ORCA Pod Facebook.
Oh, cool.
That'll be cool. I mean, I'm sure your following is much bigger than ours, but the more people we can reach, the more people who can raise awareness. Obviously, we want to do that for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Rissa. Thank you so much.
No,
and thank you.
So good to see you. Love you.
Bye for now. See ya.
Bye. Whew.
I'm just going to throw this up for a moment so we can have like a little break from. Very hard to follow that, honestly. We'll just do this kind of thing. Let's have a laugh. Let's get rolled up. What happened in episode 7 of Sydney Survivor season 1, Danny?
I was doing homework. I haven't done this. I don't know.
You know what happened? Or have you blocked this out from your mind? You were tied Destiny, booted your way out of this game without a vote.
Yes, this was the merge episode. We had a Tide Destiny's twist where we had to draw rocks. I was sitting very pretty going into merge with a lot of power, and I drew a rock with a fucking Christy Bennett. And of course, she was a major target come merge, and I left the game with not a vote on me because Christy got voted out.
I stand by. I like Tide Destinies, but there was probably a few too many idols rolling around for a 5-person vote.
Yes.
And production also didn't properly do the puzzle, which, Eli put a lot of work and other people from production getting puzzles right this season, as we saw on that earlier episode where we went to the video replay.
The video replay.
So things have improved from your time, but that's what happened. I thought it was a good way of breaking the ice.
Thanks.
Lovely.
Just put me deeper down in my depression hole.
Emotionally challenged discussion with fantastic Rissa. It was a good way to just lighten the mood a bit with that trip down memory lane of your incredible pain. Now, it's getting to the episode. I've got some notes, but Danny, take us through. What do you want to hear? Obviously, I've flagged. We're going to be having some commentary about the twist, the swap.
Well, yeah, let's let me find my notes too, because I had made live notes. Give me a second. Loz, what do you want to talk about? Tell me the things.
Well, let's just start with this decision. Now, Danny, tell us the secrets, or maybe not. Was this made on the fly?
Yes, this was my decision on the fly.
Oh,
this was me.
Oh, okay. Critical.
So,
Okay.
I mean, like we could talk about it. It was because we got down to 2, right? And we didn't want a Stephanie LaGrossa situation. We knew we were coming to a battle back at the end of the day. So we just thought it was the fairest thing across the board was a swap.
Can I pose you one question? Why don't we want a Stephanie LaGrossa situation? One of the most iconic moments in the history of Survivor.
We just didn't.
Okay. Can I also put this to you? If you don't do this, one of 2 things happens, right? We get a Stephanie LaGrossa moment, or we finally get the payoff to episodes after episodes of what was going on at the Introverts tribe, not just the Isabel stuff, not just the Tilly crew with Maddie, Mac coming over there, all of that blows up in such an interesting way. Or we get a fairly boring result, but we do get a moment that's never happened in LRGs. For me, if I was making the call, I'm happier with either of those storylines than what I actually got here.
No, and I can understand that with hindsight. In that moment, we wanted to fair up the game, make the tribes even again as we headed into a battle back and merge.
Yeah. I understand the reasoning at the time.
Yeah.
What do you think, Loz? Do you agree with me, or do you think you're happy? Because you were big last week that you wanted something changed up. So are you happy they changed it up?
No, my thing was merge. I think if you don't want it to be a 2v6, 7, 8, whatever it was, then merge them. I think mixing it up, like we watched extroverts lose and lose and lose and lose, just get absolutely demolished. And a whole bunch of people got voted out and their games were ended because of that. And I think if you're going to let that happen for those people, it's only fair to let it play out how it was going to play out. And I think if you're going to have a David versus Goliath and the 2 manage to beat the Introverts, awesome, exciting, amazing episode. And if not, what a way to go out in what will be, a fire-making challenge. You could, stand up and go, you know what? I survived every single vote and I only went out because I couldn't make the fire the quickest.
Yeah.
I just think it did a disservice to the fact that a whole bunch of other people lost their games along the way because that tribe kept losing. But those people got a second chance. And it's what we were talking about last week. We had big discussions about production stepping in and production not stepping in. And in this case, production did. For me, as a viewer, I would have watched it play out organically.
And totally. And I can take that point. And again, like I can see all sides of the coin. In that moment, we were like, we want to even the tribes up. So let's swap again. And I will only disagree with you about merging here. Like it just didn't work with the numbers for the run by that we had for the next day. I think it's hard to make, like, at least by swapping here again, or even if we went down the path of letting them go into fire making, the numbers still make sense in terms of what the rundown is for the next day. Merge was never an option here, but I can make the point we could have let it go down to the other situation.
Why don't we talk a little bit about what we did get then in the new swap?
Yeah.
We bring in the new introverts, and I can't draw a line whether I think there was some significant misplays here that I'll talk about, but I'm unsure yet if this is a misplay by the Chris, Tilly, Oscar group. Maddie is low-key the most cutthroat player in the game. She was with Ian and Deo and just cut them, no question, for the other group. Then, when she was on the other side, completely throws Belle under the bus, makes a new group with Tilly's crew. Then, when she has a chance to put a vote in the urn, she fucking votes for Mac, who last she was with, she was aligned with the guy. Like, because he has an idol, even though she has knowledge is power. Like, she is savagely self-interested, and so she's a dangerous player to get forward into thinking she's a loyal number, because she's not. I just don't think... Yeah,
so for everybody she is. That's the thing, because she's such a socially is aware and across everybody and making everybody feel comfortable that she's never been with.
See, I find her and Beck playing very similar games, and
yes.
I think they're both playing incredibly cutthroat games and probably playing the most dominant and the most thought through games of anyone. I think we're running rings around the boys. But I think their games are very, very similar.
Yes.
And the only difference was that Bex had been exposed more because she'd ended up on the tribe that consistently lost challenges. Maddie got a little bit more insulated, and
yes,
there wasn't that ability to gauge. And I don't know that there was a good or a bad choice. I don't think there was a great choice for Chris, Tilly, Oscar. I don't think Beck is going to be a long-term gain for them, and I don't think Maddie would have been a long-term gain. And I think that goes to the power of the games that those two women are playing, that it doesn't matter what decision the majority in that tribe made in this vote. I don't think it's going to be great for any of their games. And that's so cool that even by going out, they've set themselves up almost. I think merge is going to be a struggle.
For the
straight out. And then watching the two women who are playing such the same game going at it at tribal council, and one-upping and the rebuttals. Yeah. I mean, just gold, absolute. They were almost like they were so similar in their style of play and their arguments. And I would have been Chris, Tilly, and Oscar sitting there going, it's like a tennis match. Like, do we vote for somebody else entirely? Because how do we pick between these two?
Yeah.
They're offering us the same thing.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. That was never a consideration.
Well, let me throw in what I think is the misplay here, offering nothing. If Maddie has decided that she's just going to throw the knowledge in the power in the trash at some random concept that maybe Chris has something in his pocket, when he's the only one really going to bat for her, by the way, offer it up as a trinket. Keep me, and you can have this. We can use it together. Like, she's going to waste it anyway at this vote. I think she should have used that as a bargaining piece.
I mean, I think she could have, but I don't think it was a powerful enough bargaining piece. To me, it's a bit of as an advantage, I would kind of look at it and go, okay, well, that's nice to have, but it's not really, like right now or moving forward. And I mean, if she flips on them, well, it's no help anyway, right? I think they're just playing such a conservative game, and because those introverts have not been tested at tribal, loyalties haven't really been tested properly since, I mean, the bizarre Morgan Joe vote that went awry because Chris voted for the wrong person and whatever else with Tilly and Amber, and like they're playing conservatively.
Yes,
but other people are not. And Becca's been playing hard because she had to, and Maddie's been playing hard because she had to. And on the other tribe, on extroverts, Shane's been playing hard because he had to. Mac's been playing hard because he had to. That sets you up better longer term. When you've already, you've been playing balls to the wall, you already have put everything up that you possibly can because you thought you were going to go home. I just don't know that anything they did in that vote would have changed how it's going to play out.
I agree. And I think targeting anybody else in that three, being that they are a tight three, if Beck had thrown a name, if Maddie had thrown another name, they just go back to the other people and that person becomes the boot. Like Maddie becomes the target if she said, oh, maybe what about Oscar?
Yeah.
Maddie's gone instantly. If Beck says, oh, like where are things sitting with Tilly? Because she was least connected to Tilly before she left. Beck becomes the target because the three of them have been together for so long.
Can I just? It doesn't seem like it was decided. It actually seems like, and this is the other move I'm talking about. It was decided by Oscar, which is hilarious because he's the least active player of the three. We get the the vote confessional from Chris says it was going to be Beck until Oscar turned it at the last moment, and I understand why Tilly and Chris will have placated to Oscar's view. Chris was pretty certain on wanting Maddie, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's obvious which is the better choice, even to Chris. And Oscar's the sort of casual, he's not even a casual Survivor fan, he's barely watched Survivor, that you need to give him like what he wants if it doesn't matter to you really in the end of the day. They need to go in to the merge with Oscar thinking that these guys listen to him and will make decisions online with his thinking and his agency. And I know he doesn't probably even understand that concept from a Survivor perspective, but that's how he would feel personally no matter what. And I think if they push hard against Oscar here, he probably will go along with it, but he won't feel endeared to them come merge. So I think they made the right decision in pivoting and accepting Oscar's view just for that reason. But I still stand by that they might have pushed a bit back on Oscar if Maddie was offering up a trinket. I know it's not a lot, but it's something. And Chris was just looking for reasons why he could push to save Maddie. And I think it's so unfortunate. If Maddie gets back in this game, her decision to play that knowledge and power in Chris will have damaged any potential connection she could have had with him when she came back. I think that was such a poor decision on her biggest advocate. And I think she could come back. She's very physically capable. That's such a damaging decision on your biggest ally when he could have. Well, she had no reason to think he had an idol. Like a bulge. Like, come on.
I don't fully agree. I mean, she didn't know that Chris was really, fighting for her. And I don't know that Chris ever had the leverage because I don't know that Tilly was ever fully on board. So I think Chris was I think his logic was sound in being worried about Beck and Tim. But I don't know that he ever had the numbers that he was ever going to get Tilly back on board to take Beck out over Maddie. So I think his confessionals, I think everything he said was correct, but I don't know that that it was that critical of a decision in the game. And the reality is that if Maddie comes back in, the introverts now have Beck, who's not super connected to those three, Tim, who's not connected to those three, Tyrone, who could go either way. I think that they will want to forgive Maddie that achieved nothing for her anyway, because I think they're going to need Maddie more than potentially she's going to need them if she comes back into the game. And my other point that you said about Oscar, I think Oscar knows very well where he's sitting. He's at a tribal, and when Eli says, does anybody feel safe right now? And everyone else is going, no. And Oscar's sitting back going, no. And Chris actually turns to him and says something like, what, you feel safe? And he's like, oh no, I was shaking my head. Yeah, he knows. Oscar knows exactly where he's sitting. And I don't think an obscure advantage like that would have swayed Oscar.
No, he wouldn't.
What difference does it make? So if he's in the power position, whatever. I don't think it would have made a difference.
And I agree with you in terms of the fact that I think it was only Chris here pushing for Maddie. I don't think Tilly was decided. I think she wanted Beck back. She was happy to have Beck. She just didn't want to have to make the choice. And Oscar didn't really care. So it was so Beck's
a risk. She's a question mark right now. And it could go either way from here on out. And
also for Oscar, she's better the devil you know. I feel like he had more of a bond with Beck in early game than he ever did with Maddie when she switched over.
Yeah.
If it's the case that Tilly was not on board, then I agree there's nothing that could be done.
It didn't seem like she was on board.
I didn't get the on board vibes.
Oscar had some funny moments Look, there were times she felt on board because she was perhaps placating Chris. That's the only thing I can tell. With the conversation she was having with Chris about it, she's either being genuine or she's just trying to make Chris feel heard, and it could be that one. There was a great conversation with Oscar where he walks up to the group, the old introverts, and Tilly's like, "Introvert strong, right?" And then Oscar's just like, "I'm concerned about you, Beck." Like, I'm just concerned. You've been over there. I don't know what's going on with you. Like, just
Straight to the point.
Straight, bold, and honesty.
I mean, there's no bullshit about Oscar. Bless him. Like, I don't think he has that much game savvy to like have any bullshit about him. He's just going to tell it how it is. And if he doesn't have anything if he's unsure, he just won't say it. He'll just keep it.
I think he knows that he's in
he knows he's in a great position.
And there's a little bit of arrogance that comes with it, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
And so I think he plays it up, and he plays up that I don't know the game and I've got no clue, but there's a bit of both. It's 50-50. He doesn't know the game, but 50-50 he knows where he's sitting, and there's that arrogance comes from power.
100%. Look, I can tell you he has no game knowledge at all. Like, came into it with none, but he also is very aware that he's sitting very pretty currently.
I also like that Tilly would very much like to have a girls' alliance in their entire group of alliances men the entire game. But I want a girls' one.
They walked out from Edge of Extinction and 5 women walked out. Mm-hmm. And I had to sit there and I'm trying to count the numbers. How do we have 5 women at Edge of Extinction?
Because 2 men lost the first challenge.
2 men lost. Deo and Ian.
Yeah,
but still.
But then it was 6 to 4, so it was 6 women still in the game and 4 men. No, the other way around. 6 men, 4 women. I always hate when there's more men than women.
Well, before we talk about the challenge and chat with Nat in a bit, it is well past her bedtime, so I'm sure she wants to get on and chat with us very soon. Let's talk about the new Extroverts 3.0. And who's
I want to talk just 2 more things before we jump over there. Sorry. We loved the tribal. I think we commented that. The debate was amazing. I love how they both went hard. And I need to give credit to production. I'm sitting there going, this better be one of those stupid fucking shot in the dark tribal councils. And when they said it's a shot in the dark tribal council, I'm like, thank fucking Christ.
Yes.
Was that the plan?
I'm glad it was, because I didn't know what shot in the dark properly was. Because I had stopped watching Real
Yeah, you haven't watched. Okay, yeah, she hasn't seen it. Yeah.
I don't understand this shot in the dark thing.
Yeah.
I got it then. They lose their vote, but they get a chance that if they pick the card out, it might say safe.
Yeah.
1 and 6. Was that a decision was this one of the predetermined shot in the darks, or was this?
I believe it was predetermined. No, I believe it was predetermined.
Yeah, well, that was good. I like that. It was what it should be. All right, proceed. Sorry.
Yeah, so let's talk about Extroverts 3.0. The way this shakes out happily for lots of people and less so for others. Because what have we got? Isabel, Mac, Shane. Very happy people. Tyrone and Tim.
This was Tyrone's coming out moment as a character. Tyrone's finally not.
He's been waiting his turn. He's been biding his time. He's ready.
He's finally not sitting at the bottom, worrying about his position. He wins this challenge. He knows he's in merge, and out comes the snark that we're looking for. He says that if he was there, he would have gutted someone like
you're going to gut him like a fish.
Like a fish. And Tim also.
If Ian had been there, he would have gut him like a fish.
Tim is low-key afraid of water. Like, what's that about? Did someone touch him under the water? And I also love the new Pokemon shirt. It's like he's evolved.
Growlithe is my favorite Pokemon.
And the socks, and then the orange. He's swapping the purple socks for the orange socks because he's color coordinated. It was his moment in the spotlight. It really was.
Yeah, this was a Pokemon evolution of his own from scared, playing safe, managing the situation Tyrone, to snarky out there Tyrone. And I hope the snarky one he's going to get a rest. I hope he doesn't sleep well and snarky Tyrone rolls into the merge, because this is the Tyrone we came to see.
I mean, it's great until you're on the other end of snarky Tyrone and the snarky Tyrone is pointed at you, and then it's not so funny.
It's fun to watch. It wouldn't be fun to be on the other end of. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's not fun.
It doesn't have to do with the narrative. It was fun.
It was good. It's good stuff.
Yeah,
There were other bits with the narrative that weren't important, like it's right at the start of the episode, but when Isabel was talking to Maddie and was like so in her bubble, like she's like in her like physical space and then touching her face.
There was a lot of touching, yeah.
Like, and I'm like, that's too much, Isabel. Like,
I'm not a touchy person. I'd have to.
You're in a bubble, and you know, like too close. No, Maddie handled it well.
Isabel's just everything just comes out like in every part of her. It's in her face, her voice,
she can't hide anything,
her eyes, her movements. It's like I couldn't imagine trying to wrangle it all in.
Whatever she feels is just out in the minute.
Just
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we think would have happened if Extrovert 3.0 lose here? Which of the introverts goes home?
Tyrone.
You think Tyrone?
Oh, yeah. I think only because of the promises that Beck had made to Shane about Tim.
Sure.
And Belle had spent time with
working
up Tim. Belle had spent time working up Tim as well.
Yes.
And I do think Tim and Mac might, you know, they've been looking at each other, physical guys. Like, I'm not saying Mac and Tyrone would become besties over time, but like just the initial impressions. I think everyone on board, the messaging would feed back that Tim is the guy to keep
here. Too big a question mark over Tyrone.
Likes Tim. Yeah.
And Isabel and Tim they have the Melbourne, like they're both from Melbourne. Yeah. They will have bonded over that fact. Yeah. There you go, Mac. There you go. Mac would have tried to. That's what I was like. Mac would have wanted Tyrone. I feel over Tim.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Belle and Shane would have been like, "No, Beck said
Shane would have been on Tim.
That's going to be our group when we come back in." Like, yeah.
Because that was the promise that Beck was making. That when she got back with, that they would do the best, do what she could as long as she could, maybe to save him.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to talk about Edge? Do we want to talk about the battleback?
We also got it's Grace from like. She's got a crush on him. Matt now thinks Bella's infatuated with him.
I called it last week. In fact, Rissa called it, and then I echoed it. I mean, it took Mac 2.5 working days to get there, but we're there now. So it's he didn't say no either. I mean, he did point out that he's married, but he didn't say no.
Hey, people can have a crush. You just don't have to do anything about it. Crushes are okay. Just don't behave poorly. Can
I give I only have one alternate episode.
Was this a quote in the episode? Or is this what Tyrone is just saying now?
I think this is what she's saying now.
She had a girl boner.
That did not get said in the episode because
she is only human at Max. I have a boy boner for Mac. I get it.
My episode title of the episode that should have been the episode title, it wasn't. I'm having trouble with the sound a bit in the and I can't hear things. I'm quite deaf in one ear and I watch everything with subtitles. And so I'm having to like rewatch things to try and hear what they're saying. So I think I'm missing good quotes that people are making.
Well done, Matt. Very good. Very good. You've ruined Lauren's bit because you've put up a funny
take it back. There's the episode title.
That's the episode
all
title.
All I had, Max said it, and he said, and so the episode title should have been March into the Merge.
What was the title?
Cat with 9 Lives.
Yeah. Cat with 9 Lives.
I think March into the Merge. Because that was that was their mentality. It's how do I get through this vote to the merge? I thought it captured it. That was my episode title.
I like that.
I like it.
I also know one thing about Idle Hands because we don't care about that. But Tilly did something. I think it was Tilly did something I've never seen anyone do in Idle Hands. Everyone loves the throwing strat. But what she did when the first, I don't know who she was against, they threw it. And then she like paused for like 2 or 3 seconds and then just threw hers up in the air. So then the other one just hit first.
Right.
Like I don't think I've ever seen anyone just wait. Like they always like react so strongly. Oh, we're going to throw it up in the air now. I've got to try and do this. No, they just waited and went. And then it's like 3 seconds later.
Because Idle Hands normally has an idle on the thing. That's Why? Because it's a play on words, right? Idle hands
Yeah.
versus idle.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was an egg. So you can't really do that with an idle. You can't just
Yeah.
toss them up in the air because then they come back down and they hit people
Yeah,
and
isn't that what
injure
Ed did?
people.
Ed threw his in the air and broke it.
He
Yes.
broke it.
Yeah, so I do think it added a spin on idle hands by turning them into eggs instead of idols. And I mean, somebody just tossed one out into the bush.
Into the
It's
bush.
still like it went on for 3 days out there. Did anyone ever check to see where it landed? I mean,
Oh no, that was Brindlebush. We weren't going in there. We just
Nice little throwback as well.
It lost the idol. The whole funny thing is it's idle, and there were no idols.
We all did that. Well, I'm sorry, I saw it on Tilly mode first, Tyrone. I'm sorry. But nice little throwback to season 1 Sydney Survivor with the Easter eggs. Okay, let's, as you said, been trying to get to, Danny, to the battleback challenge and the obviously the big moment of the medevac.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously 5 incredible women coming back. Nat has been there the longest, a very big day out in the sun. Probably didn't drink as much water as she should have. Dehydrated. It was 30 plus degrees that day, which was very exciting going back into it. It was just unfortunate the way that it ended.
I looked at when they announced the challenge, and I looked at Rissa, and Rissa just went, "Oh, fuck's sake!" Like, you know, it would just suck to go. This is my chance to get back in, and I can't do it. So, and then I sort of thought, and I thought, Nat's so tiny, you know, and she's got these tiny little arms, and she'd been out there all day. And I look at her and go, I've got big man arms, you know. You wanted me to hold a bucket above my head, I could probably stand there all day with it. Yeah. But it's certainly a challenge that's suited to a particular, probably build and style of person. And then there was any of them. How will I hold the bucket?
Yeah.
And we had a whole stack of, there were basically 5 different strategies.
This one was crazy.
So Maddie is hanging onto the rim of the bucket.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You've got, Nat was sort of a little bit of both. It might have been Morgan, I think, who had kind of gone underneath, or it might have been Joe. And I thought it was interesting that there were these different strategies. And had it gone on a little bit longer, you know, if obviously Nat hadn't fallen, I wanted to see which was going to be the successful, you know.
I can't imagine this one getting there because it's putting too much on your fingers. Like if you
no, because you would hook the rim like into your palm.
I've done this challenge.
Go far into your palm though.
I've done the challenge and I did quite poorly at it. I must say, I was very disappointed in myself and thought, I can't balance. I'm not very good at throwing things. I am good at puzzles, but the one thing I thought I would have is some brute strength that I could hold something over my head for a period of time. And even then I got beaten by like half the tribe. So it was a bit embarrassing, to be honest, for me in Melbourne Survivor.
I'd probably beat you, CK.
Yeah, you probably would. Let's get that happening at the Orca drinks. I'm down for that. That'd be fun. You know, it does just get a bit like shaky at some point. Like my arms got quite shaky and I just couldn't hold it any longer and I was very disappointed in myself. What was the plan, Danny, if there were blokes in this battle back? Because it didn't seem like there was any attempt to measure the weights, and I assume you went, oh, it's 5 women, we'll just make it the same.
That is a really good question. I'll have to confer with TK and come back to you. I don't have the answer for that one.
I mean, I can't remember if it was Ethan or Eli were very descriptive in saying, you know, you've all got buckets there that they look like they're around, you know, 2/3 or something full.
They would have, like, it would have been his due diligence that way. But I don't have the specific information for you. I'm sorry.
Thanks, Darren.
That's what would want to compete against you in that situation.
My jacket is a puzzle. That's the thing. I'm good at puzzles. Obviously it was a really powerful moment, and I think let's just throw up the graphic, and then we'll bring in Nat. For me, it was a very, very powerful moment seeing Nat go out in this way. A little bit of history for everyone that isn't aware and doesn't listen to us absolutely religiously. Myself and John cast Nat onto Uncharted Waters after a lot of effort. CM also deserves a lot of credit for really getting her to come on. He probably got her to do it the most because John and I and CM and other people knew her from an org community, which was a text-based org, where her personality was so strong and so amazing. It shone through a text forum. And we just need to do an interview. We just need to get this person who's writing these comments on an LRG because it will be incredible. And I talked at the start of the show about how fantastic it is to have two incredible women that have shown incredible perseverance and positivity and strength in their survivor journeys. And obviously Marissa's story is one that everyone knows. And I'm not going to talk about Nat's personal story because that's for her. But going on Uncharted Waters was a life-changing scenario for her. She realized things about her life were not the way they should be. And she took very difficult steps to change her life for the better. And she made those changes. She changed her life for her and her daughter, and it was an incredible show of strength. I was so excited to hear she was coming on Sydney too, noting that she wasn't actually the first boot, but essentially the first boot at Uncharted Waters. And I was told, the only spoiler I had for this season was that Nat was the first boot. But I didn't, and I was so sad to hear that, but I didn't know that she went then on into this edge, had this battleback victory against Deo and Ian, had her whole journey on the edge. And while I'm sure she was incredibly disappointed to go out this way on this challenge, and I just knew that maybe she got medevacked, I'd heard that, but I didn't know that it was because she basically would not give up holding this bucket. Any other person would have just put it down. I'm feeling dehydrated. I'm feeling exhausted. This is not worth it. I'm putting it down. Nat is the strength and resilience of the person she is and what she's gone through in her life, the last few years in particular, is that this woman would not put down that bucket. She had to physically collapse. Her body had to give up before her mind would. And that, while she's not how she wants to go out, was to me a really special moment and indicator of who she is. And I thought it was amazing.
I can't say much more to that. 100%.
Yeah, I've had a really, it's losing Nat so early. She was on my draft and it cast a little shadow on this season for me that I don't think I've been able to shake off properly. It was crushing to watch. It was crushing to then watch her go through the emotions of it. And she's created a little bit of LRG history in exiting the game this way. I mean, this is the only time I think this has ever happened, even anything similar to this really in Australian LRG history. And so she's forged her own, cemented her place in an Australian
positive way,
history.
because nobody else was.
Hugely positive way. In a powerful and positive and memorable, and I think all the things that probably sum up Nat as a person.
100%.
So.
Without further ado, let's bring her in. Welcome, Nat.
Hello.
Hi, babe.
How are you? Good. It's very late.
How did it feel you watching it back, knowing what was going to happen? Did you do you remember it? What sort of was the background?
Honestly, no, I don't remember. I didn't remember a lot of that from what I saw. So watching it was pretty raw, pretty hard, I guess. Look, it was heartbreaking.
Yeah. Because you went out of the game, and you believed that you could do it? Because I believe you could do it.
You've got me all upset from what you said before.
Sorry.
There's so much more game in you and so much more journey in you, and it's I don't think it ever gets easier watching it knowing you still had so much more. I think.
Oh, look, I felt like I had a lot more to to give, and just watching the whole what I've seen so far of myself back is disappointing, really. I mean, I went into the game with, I suppose, Melbourne sitting on my shoulders and thinking, God, I need to do everything different from what I did there. And watching the episodes, I could see it was almost awkward. Like there were times when, I wasn't completely myself, that's for sure, because I felt that if I gave everybody the full Nat experience, then, I would have been first out anyway. So I restrained. And, even there was a comment that Mac made that, he asked me about the vote and he goes, come on, mate, you're not giving me anything. And he was right. I wasn't. I was too afraid to give anything regarding the game about the votes because I was terrified of, it happening again. And fuck, when it did, when the first Nat came out, when I went out in tribal, oh God, my heart sunk. And then when I was actually voted out, I was just, look, I went to a place that I just don't think I came back from.
Yeah.
Going up to, up on the hill,
Edge, yeah.
and I had to, up to Edge, I had to put up the tent myself. I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to give confessionals. Yeah, I didn't want to give a confessional because I was so upset. But yeah, I was just destroyed, absolutely destroyed. And then, getting back in the battleback, which the challenge itself was just so bloody hard. I mean, look, I can't kick a ball straight if I save myself. As a child, my motor skills were fucked. So I went to hospital every week to learn to skip, clap, catch a ball, kick a ball, walk a straight line. Like, I still can't kick a ball. So seeing that challenge, I was just like, oh, I've got Buckleys, absolute Buckleys. So, finally getting the ball up there and then getting the dominoes and then watching how long it took to do the dominoes, because it didn't seem that long. But, I mean, it obviously was a really long time. And just the elation of hearing that ting of the domino hitting the tin, knowing that I had a chance of getting back in. But, I was spent. I was absolutely spent. Like, I don't think I had anything left in the tank. And, walking down the hill, I slipped already, I think. I think I'd already fallen. I don't know. And they gave me some lollies, and I think my sugar was a little bit low. So, and I was freezing. I remember being freezing. Like, I was just so bitterly cold, because I know when I walked into that challenge, I had the towel wrapped around me and I was just freezing. And then I saw the bucket and I thought, oh God, I've got bucket shoulders. So trying to hold, you could see it was this one. And it was just really heavy. And I just wanted it so badly that I just hung in as long as I could. And yeah.
You hung in for so long against three women who, in ages, but probably half your age. Like,
Exactly. Watching them and how strong they were, and there was no wavering in them. I had no chance. I honestly had no chance, but I wanted to give it everything.
Yeah, they're not just younger women, but they're three incredibly fit women. Not everyone's equal. They're very fit women, all three of them. And that's why I think it was so amazing that you still just wouldn't give up. Like the odds of you winning it were low,
I know.
but you weren't
Yeah.
going to quit until your body made you quit. That's what fainting is. Your body's like, no, your mind is not doing the right thing now. We're going to shut down because the mind won't do the right thing. Body's like, reaction, need to protect the body. We're going to shut down. Like, that's the point you got to yourself. Like, everyone plays hard in these games. Well, a lot of people do, but no one plays that hard. It would have been incredible if you got back in because it would have been one of the greatest LRG moments ever.
Well,
but seeing your perseverance is still amazing.
Yeah. And I mean, to go out twice first, my God.
You can go out first.
Well, you know, I look at it as I went out first, even though I got up to the battleback. I still went out first vote. So that's, you know,
you were talking about that first vote and the fact that you had withdrawn and in that first episode not playing to the full Nat effect. As awkward and things as it felt watching that back, it had worked, right? Because that happened at Tribal. That was not the plan going into Tribal. From my understanding, from my memory of it, from watching it back.
Well, that's what Eli said, but I mean, you know, the edit, you know, Danny had already said my name, so I know that she said my name. Maddie, yeah. Ian. Hey, Maddie. And Ian and Deo. So I felt like it was me, but I had no idea. I was sitting there oblivious.
No,
you know, everyone was.
Your name was definitely out there, but it wasn't the main name going in. It was.
I thought it was Ian. I thought it was Ian because
that's what it was meant to be.
He was annoying, and
we all thought it was Ian.
I feel like Ian targeted you because you were because you hadn't shown your full self, and you appeared as one of Mac's people, and you know they just picked one of them. Like it actually wasn't a target at you. It was you were sort of blank player number one next to Mac. They wanted to weaken Mac. You haven't shown yourself too much yet because you're trying to hold that back. And so it's like, well, let's get rid of her because she's just like a person.
Well, in first vote, it's as long as it's not me, people will jump on any name that
exactly. Yeah,
and that's the difficulty. Had you not lost that challenge, had you not gone to Tribal till the next vote, you would have had another hour and a half probably in the tribe. I don't think the outcome would have been the same. I think it would.
I don't think so either.
Different. And that's the difficulty is first vote. It's not a reflection on gameplay. It's not a reflection on personalities. It's not a reflection on alliances. It's people will throw a name out. There'll be a split majority, and as long as it's not me.
Exactly. I didn't feel like it was me, and especially, you know, watching the episodes, like Ian mentioned something about, you know, she's a swim teacher, she didn't get in the water and swim. You know, I honestly thought the challenge was both of us had to be on the kayak. So, you know, I did the right thing and got on the kayak. And then I see Chris is swimming and he's grabbed the back of the paddleboard, and I said to Mac, hit him. And he goes, oh, no, I can't do that. And so I stayed on because, you know, I was light as a feather. I got up there, got the puzzle pieces, jumped back on, you know, we started paddling, and I could hear Ian and Isabel, Nat, swim. So I was just like, should I get in and swim? And he's like, no, just stay on, you know, we'll be right. So I stayed on for as long as I could, and then I jumped off and swam. But, you know, I should have swam. I should have been a swim teacher. Yeah, I should have swam. But, you know, the water was freezing.
But hacking challenges is, you know, Chris hacked the challenge and jumped in the water.
Yeah.
You know, that was a hack. It wasn't how the challenge was necessarily supposed to play out. In hindsight, you go, well, fuck yeah, of course, maybe I could have jumped into the water. But that wasn't what the aim of the game.
That's not what I thought. That, you know, unless I misunderstood the instructions, I thought that we both had to be on the kayak.
No, I think that would have been it. And Chris hacked it, but it didn't even make a difference.
No, because I don't believe it was. Yeah, it was the puzzle people. Yeah, it was the puzzle people. But I don't think that was the be all and end all of my vote out. I think it was just the fact that,
It was an excuse. It
the
was an
name
excuse. It
switched
wasn't a
it
reason.
tribal, and I was just, I should have got up and chatted, like, but there's me just sitting there oblivious. No, I'm good as gold.
I think you were just trying. You thought you'd done a good job of playing it down a
Oh,
little
look.
bit, not being the biggest
And you
voice
had.
in the crowd, and you had.
Yeah, I was too afraid to freaking speak. I was too afraid to talk about the vote because I just didn't want to be the first vote. Like, I just didn't want to be the first one out. And
Yeah.
I was just so gutted. And I could not for the life of me get out of that funk up on Edge. I just, and I should have. And watching the episodes, I feel disappointed in myself that I didn't pick myself up because normally I would. I'm not that person, but if it wasn't for Melbourne, yeah, but I went into this deep, dark fucking space, and Ian's arrived, and I was just pissed off at him, and then he wanted to talk about the vote, and I just lied to him because I didn't want to fucking talk to him anyway. Just like fuck off.
There's moments.
I mean, but I think it's like Survivor is raw.
Yeah.
Like it's people don't understand how it affects you.
I know.
I mean, you look back in hindsight and go, yeah, okay, I should have pulled my finger out, but you can't. No one can understand how totally all-consuming, devastating that feeling is.
I know. I could have ripped out some fucking cracking confessionals, mate. I could have brought out some cracking confessionals, and yet
I think we got Nat at her rawest, and I think you showed how real and how much it matters. Because, Ian kind of shrugged it off and he was like, catches all, have a great game. And I'm like, how are you so chilled about it? That's not how I would feel. I would feel how you felt.
Yeah. And nobody wants to be the first boot. Everyone, I haven't had that experience, so I don't know what it feels like. And there's only one other person in this country that's had your experience of essentially being the first boot twice, even though you're actually the first boot neither of those times. But I appreciate you want to feel that way, and I think it's a technicality, and I get it. So Holly had that experience in Backyard of being the first boot twice, and she seemed absolutely devastated. She's probably the only person in Australia that really knows how you feel. So we can say these things, but we haven't been first boots, and we haven't been first boots twice. It must, for people that care about this game like we all do, I'm sure it's very, very, very difficult. And to come back and play
I love the shit. I love it. Yeah. I love Survivor. It's like my first love, apart from my child. It's my first love. I watch everything that I possibly can. So yeah, it was just heartbreaking. It really was heartbreaking, and I wish that I pulled myself out of the mood that I was in, but I just couldn't. And then getting back in the battleback, and I found a bit of something, and I was excited, and I found a little bit of Nat, but then I was exhausted. I was absolutely spent. I was spent, and it was just.
And I think despite that, you still had a pretty critical impact on the game. I think your narrative in the game has stood out against anybody else at Edge. I don't think anyone's had a narrative like yours. I think your advantage that you found changed up the game dramatically, in that when Isabel played it, that changed the whole course of the game, because had she not played it, had Max stayed, I don't believe that Beck would have found the idol. I think Beck would have gone home. I mean, and then for you to go out, at the challenge the way you did, you got voted out first twice, and you have absolutely carved yourself a position and a place within the Australian LRG community that almost nobody else can even compare to. People will always remember your story, and whether it's a fucked up story that you look back and go, God, why? But they're the people we remember in real Survivor. It's not the 300 other people who kind of did okay in the game. It's the people with those stories, and you're the story.
Yeah. Well,
That's-
thank you. You make me feel
that's a
better.
vital fact, so- and no one takes that from you, because holy shit, your
No.
story is so dramatic. I don't think there'll ever be a repeat of anything similar
No.
in LRGs.
No, well, yeah, I gave it everything. I gave it everything.
Yeah. And
100%.
no one can take that away from you and
No.
everyone. This is an iconic moment, and it's not because you were the first person to be medevac, it's because you were the person who would not stop trying no matter what. Your perseverance, your
no.
resilience, your positivity.
And unapologetically yourself.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, exactly. And that's one
like
thing.
you.
That's one thing I'll never apologize for, is just
Yeah.
being me. So
And nor should you. Nor should
No.
you.
no. But yeah, just watching that challenge, it was pretty hard. I watched it a few times and I rewound and I rewound and I fast forward and rewound just to make sure, oh mate, yeah. You know, just watching the way I was so awkward holding the bucket, and, you know, I was swaying and I was looking up, like, you know, I would have made myself dizzy. I made myself so dizzy. I was looking up at the freaking bucket because Eli had said, oh, your bucket's coming down low. And, you know, it got into my head, your bucket's coming too close to your head. So I was watching to make sure it didn't come too close to my head. And then I was just like, well, you know, do I hold it like this? Do I hold it like that? And I had things on my hands as well that were making the bucket slippery. You know, I should have stripped off, but I was freezing. You know, it was, yeah.
No, I get that. When I did this challenge, I'm
Yeah.
over at Grammy's. I wore this big fucking jacket. It's orange
Yeah.
jacket, and I should have taken it off, but it was literally like 4 degrees at 6 a.m. in the morning, and I didn't want to drop a bucket of cold water all over myself for the rest of the day. But I should have. Like, you know, I know exactly how you feel.
Oh well, look.
It was so
when I
dramatic.
knew that I was going, when I knew that I was about to fall on my ass, the bucket. I made sure the bucket went forward, because all I could think was, if that went on me, oh my
Yeah.
god, it would ruin me it would ruin me.
Like,
Thank you.
I'm spoiler free on this season, so I had no idea it was coming. I'm just sitting there watching, thinking, okay, all right, next bucket's gonna go, the next bucket's go. Holy, like, it was.
Yeah.
It was. I had no clue. It was pure drama.
Yeah.
Just.
Look,
Yeah,
mate.
yeah.
This
Oh,
is.
God.
I am drama. You know, like, fuck. You know. If if that was my defining moment in Survivor Sydney season 2, well, fuck it, so be it.
It was incredible. It's going to be a defining moment for LRG history. Thank you so much for coming on.
No
Matt.
worries.
Your story continues to be amazing. You're a iconic part of the community. As Loz says, you're going to be remembered. Some people don't get remembered. I had to make 145 podcasts to make sure that I got remembered from my average game. So, you know, you're remembered no matter what. We will always remember you. Thank you for, again, being a great part of this community and participating on both
Thank you.
occasions.
We love you, Nat.
Love yous.
That was great. Okay, so just for everyone's, we've got one final little segment before we wrap up. There was overwhelming positivity over at the Canberra podcast for this video, so it's not going anywhere. Strap yourself in if you haven't seen it before, because it's time.
It's here to stay.
Brommy Nom, who gets the Brommy Nom?
So epic.
Who at Canberra liked that? We're going to
Everyone-
have words.
But, oh my God, the chat went off.
The chat went off. They fucking loved
They
it.
all loved it. Okay. Well, the chat from Canberra that watches our show, which is not all of Canberra, but the ones that watch the
I
show.
have an
went off.
idea who loved it, so we'll have conversations.
So
Of course. It's kiss an ass. Such an
I
ass
want to nominate.
kisser. Such an ass kisser.
Who have we nominated? We have nominated. Thanks, Mac. We've nominated. Episode 1 was Ian. Episode 2 was
Tilly.
Thank you. I keep forgetting that one. Episode 3 was Isabel. Episode 4 was Nat. Episode 5 was
Mac.
Mac. Ring a ding ding. Episode 6 was Christy or Belle, depending on what the outcome is. The Christy thing's still funny. I want to nominate Tyrone.
Fair enough.
Like, I appreciate the only other ones we could consider is the battle between Maddie and Beck at Tribal, but I can't split them. And they were actually really respectful about it. Like, both of them were just too respectful for me to give it, like, they were just making sound points as opposed to teeing off at each other. So Tyrone just got snarky.
Oh, I don't know. Beck's passive aggressiveness was next level. Like the patting, you know, and I'm sure you're a really lovely person. Like, oh.
That's actually just who she is. Like as a Beck stan and a Beck defender, that's just who she is as a person. There's nothing passive aggressive about her. She's just aggressively nice.
Yeah, I think she's nice. I think she's
just
nice.
an aggressively nice person.
I like to think that it was a little bit of passive aggressiveness because I loved the villain coming out, but that's just me.
I'm just tired and exhausted by this point, so there may have been a little bit of that point. Yeah.
My nomination is Nat. And my nomination for Nat is because is there anything more Orca than taking over the entire episode? Irrelevant of who else got voted out, irrelevant of what was going to happen at the Edge of Extinction Challenge, irrelevant of the tribe swap. What's everyone going to remember about this episode? Nat being medevaced. Orca behavior.
You can make the decision, Danny.
I am just for my own love and loyalty. I'm going to go with Nat because of our playing with fire history, the fact that this hurt for me all over again, and I like it. I agree with the Tyrone nom. His time will come.
Well, even we're known for giving body of work noms when we roll into the merge, and people's personalities are pretty much played out. And they don't do anything new.
I don't think this was like Tyrone on like level 1 or 2. I mean, we're not seeing Tyrone yet. I think it's too early to give him
his time is coming. His time is
because I think in an episode or 2 we're gonna get Tyrone on 6 or 7 or 8, and it'll be a no-brainer.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, no, I'm happy to give it to Nat. 3-time Brommy Award nominee for not a lot of episodes. That's just the sort of epic person she is. Very little screen time across 2 seasons for 3 Brommy noms. Absolutely incredible. She's actually only been in effectively 2 episodes and still has 3 Brommy noms. It's an absolute star achievement over here at the Orca Pod for Nat's achievements there. Thank you to everyone that joined us this evening. Danny, I thought
hold on. I want to know what you guys' predictions are.
Oh, thank you for calling me out.
Next week, what's happening?
This merge is I don't know.
Well, sorry, not next week because we have a week off now with Sydney.
Oh, this is my last pod from Papua New Guinea too.
Oh,
we'll be back in Australia for our next pod.
How exciting! Yes, so we have a week off and then we're going into the merge.
So we've got these groups. We've got an Oscar, Tilly, Chris group. We've got a Shane, Mac, Bell, Tim group. Tyrone is probably with the Tilly people. Where Beck goes is a 50-50. And then who comes back from the Edge, it has to be Morgan, Joe, or Maddie. A Maddie coming back really strengthens the extroverts plus Tim. Maybe Beck goes with them. A Morgan or a Joe coming back could really strengthen the introverts. I think a lot of it hangs on who wins this challenge.
Okay, say one of the introvert girls wins. Who's the first merge boot?
I think the introverts will stick introvert.
Mm-hmm.
Revert back to the introvert mindset from the start of the game of playing it safe. And for at least the first vote or 2, until they're certain that they've got a majority, I think introverts will band back together to take out an extrovert.
Which one?
Shane.
I think Shane's probably at most risk only because he's had the least exposure.
Correct.
And I think Beck will throw him under the bus as she should.
Yeah.
That's I think it'll be a concession she's willing to make.
He's also a subtler player. He's a subtler player than Mac and therefore more dangerous. Mac's the sort of player we can get rid of Mac anytime. Yeah. Shane is a savvy, smart, under the radar guy.
And if Maddie gets back in?
Then they're going to vote an introvert. It's not.
I still think the introverts could still pull the same. I think you've still got Tilly, Chris, Oscar, Beck, and Tim, and Tyrone.
Tim's not going with them.
But if Beck goes, Tim will go. And I think they will play that safer card, that first vote. I think it would make more sense for them because Beck and Tim can exert more control in the longer term if they take out a wild card and an extrovert.
The only one I'll say is if Jo comes back in, she can form that idol with Shane, and she might decide to go elsewhere because she's only ever spent very little time with the original introverts. So that could
again,
be
though, if she gets back in, she was the first vote out of their tribe. I feel like she's going to want to play a safe vote, the first vote. You just want to make it through that first vote, right? And then start testing the waters. I feel
if
like
Morgan
it's going to be a
gets
safe
back
vote.
in, she's immune, right? So she's not going anywhere.
What?
Morgan has an advantage from the edge that she's immune.
Oh, yeah.
That's what she does too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, but I don't think anyone from the edge is going. I don't think people are heartless enough to send the edge person right back out, and they will get discussed. But most people would fear the edge person is got the advantage that Morgan has. Like, you just fear that production will give him something, so let's just like not do that and do something. And
You've got ammunition against others that are in the game. You've got reasons to take those people out. What reason do you have to take out the person who comes back from Edge right now? You don't have anything. I mean, they're not even an easy name to throw out.
Argument. It's easy.
It's not even easy though when there's people that obviously are bigger, much easier, bigger votes.
That's harder though. It's easy to do a consensus vote on someone no one cares about. So that's an easy.
Not everyone doesn't care though. The extroverts are not going to not care. The extroverts are going to care. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it'll be a safe vote.
Okay.
I think Shane's going.
Okay.
I think he's the most logical choice. For pretty much the numbers group that Loz is identifying, which I do agree will exist. All right. Thank you to everybody that joined us. Danny, for coming on and giving us production point of view on some of these very important moments. Also owning that it was your decision in face of our endless criticism. Real backbone that you have, strength. We love your strength too. Thank you, Loz, for jumping on. I think great Loz vibes. You say you're just a negative person. I disagree with this. I think you just have strong views and you express them strongly. And tonight you expressed both positive and negative views. Yeah,
I loved it. I thought tonight was great.
If you like Loz, you got to take the negative with 100%. The very, very rare glimpses of positive. I'm a pragmatist. I'm a realist.
This was the standard Loz. I stand by. No one could have put on been in a positive mood after that sort of travel last week, and it just brought you down a little. This is the standard Loz. This is the Loz we all know and love, and the audience was clamoring to see that.
About this now. Thanks, everybody.
So you brought it back. We love that, and the guests. There were always going to be two really emotionally charged and confronting interviews for their own reasons, and I think they were fantastic. I think both of them came on and really showed why they're special, besides what we already knew. There was lots of great commentary in the chat. So thank you so much to Marissa and Nat to coming on and sharing their journey with us. Thank you to everyone that was in the comments, commenting live. It was great to have you here. It was a really wonderful chat. And thank you, of course, to anyone who listens after the fact. We love you. We just love you less. Try to listen live. We're going to be back in 2 weeks for Sydney Survivor. All the fun and action from the merge. Plus, if you're watching our Canberra coverage, there's only 2 episodes to go. We'll be back on Wednesday talking about that episode. Advantages going everywhere. You don't want them to go. We'll just talk about that some more on the episode if you're tuning in for the Canberra coverage. Thank you, everybody. We love you all. We will see you 2 weeks' time. And until then, we will dance. We're going to dance this week. For a sway, but whatever floats your boat. Thank you, everyone.
He's feeling it. We got it.